Imagine spending more than 20 years building a life with someone, raising children together, sharing dreams, memories, and countless ordinary moments, believing that no matter what happens, you'll always have each other. Now imagine discovering that everything you believed about your marriage was wrong. This is the true story of Belle Burden. A story about love, betrayal, family, and the painful realization that sometimes the person you know best can become a complete stranger. Before the heartbreak, before the divorce, before her entire world fell apart, there was a small island and a family of birds. The osprey nest. The story begins on Martha's Vineyard, a beautiful island known for its peaceful beaches, quiet forests, and breathtaking ocean views. For Belle and her family, this island is more than just a vacation destination. It's home. A place filled with memories. A place where life feels safe and predictable. Near their house stands a tall nesting pole, and every year something remarkable happens. A pair of ospreys returns to build their nest. Ospreys are powerful birds of prey. They travel thousands of miles across oceans and continents. Yet somehow, year after year, they always find their way back to the same place, the same nest, the same partner, the same family. James, Belle's husband, is fascinated by them. He watches them constantly. He talks about them with excitement. He tracks their arrival each spring. To him, these birds represent something special, something pure, something lasting. As the years pass, the ospreys become part of the family's routine. The children grow up watching them. The family celebrates when they return each season. The birds become a symbol of stability, a symbol of loyalty, a symbol of home. And in many ways, Belle sees her own marriage reflected in them. Like the osprey pair, she believes she and James have built something permanent. Something that can survive anything. After all, they have spent decades together. They have children together. They have created an entire life together. What could possibly break a bond that strong? But what Belle doesn't know is that her world is already beginning to crack beneath the surface. The irony is heartbreaking. The man who admires these loyal birds so much will soon become the very opposite of what they represent. And Belle has absolutely no idea. For now, life appears perfect. The nest waits quietly. The birds will soon return, and so will a storm that no one sees coming. Lockdown Paradise. As 2020 begins, the world is changing. News reports about a mysterious virus are spreading across the globe. Cities are shutting down. People are afraid. Nobody knows what will happen next. When the COVID pandemic reaches America, Belle and her family leave New York and move to Martha's Vineyard. At first, it feels like the safest possible place to be. Away from crowded streets, away from danger, away from uncertainty. The island becomes their refuge, their private sanctuary during one of the most frightening moments in modern history. Inside the house, life settles into a new routine. The children attend school remotely. Meals are shared together. Days pass quietly. The family spends time outdoors. They walk through the woods. They watch the lake. They observe the returning wildlife. And through it all, James seems like the same husband Belle has always known. Responsible, protective, dependable. If someone had looked at their family from the outside, they would have seen a picture-perfect life. A successful couple, healthy children, a beautiful home. A family safely weathering the pandemic together. But appearances can be deceiving. Because while Belle believes they are growing closer during lockdown, James is already living a secret life. A secret so devastating that it will destroy everything they have built together. The frightening thing is that Belle doesn't notice anything unusual. There are no dramatic fights, no obvious warning signs, no clear evidence that something is wrong. That is what makes the story so powerful. Sometimes betrayal doesn't arrive with chaos. Sometimes it arrives quietly, hidden behind smiles, hidden behind daily routines, hidden behind years of trust. Belle wakes up every morning believing her marriage is secure. She believes the future is still intact. She believes the man beside her is the same man she married. But the truth is already moving toward her. And when it arrives, it will change her life forever. The peaceful island, the perfect family, the beautiful home, everything she thinks is permanent is about to be tested. And the phone call that changes everything is only days away. Sometimes a person's entire life changes in a single moment. Not gradually, not over months or years. Just one moment, one sentence, one phone call. And suddenly everything is different. For Belle, that moment arrives on an ordinary evening during the COVID lockdown. At first, the day feels completely normal. The family is together at their house on Martha's Vineyard. Life continues as it has for weeks. Nothing seems unusual. Nothing feels wrong. Then Belle notices a voicemail from an unknown number. At first, she almost ignores it. Like most people, she assumes it's a spam call. A wrong number. Something unimportant. But eventually, she listens to the message, and what she hears freezes her in place. The voice belongs to a stranger, a man she has never met, a man whose life is about to collide with hers. The message is short, direct, and devastating. The man explains that his wife has been having an affair. And according to the information he has discovered, the other person involved is Belle's husband, James. At first, Belle cannot process what she is hearing. The accusation seems impossible, ridiculous, absurd. After all, she has been married to James for more than 20 years. They have children together. They are quarantining together. They're living under the same roof every day. How could he possibly be having an affair? The idea feels insane. But something about the man's voice feels genuine. He doesn't sound angry. He doesn't sound crazy. He sounds broken, like someone whose own life has just been destroyed. And suddenly Belle feels a knot forming in her stomach. Fear, confusion, disbelief, all mixing together. For a moment, she hopes there has been some mistake. Maybe the man has the wrong person. Maybe someone misunderstood something. Maybe this is all a misunderstanding. But deep inside, she already knows that her life is about to change. The certainty she has always felt about her marriage begins to crack. And once that crack appears, it can never be repaired. Belle immediately confronts James. She wants answers. She wants reassurance. She wants him to tell her the stranger is wrong, that none of it is true, that everything is fine. But instead of giving her comfort, James gives her silence. And in that silence, Belle begins to understand the truth. The truth she never wanted to hear. The truth that has been hiding in her life without her knowledge. The truth that will destroy the future she thought she had. At that moment, the peaceful island no longer feels safe. The beautiful house no longer feels like home. Everything around her suddenly feels unfamiliar, as if she has stepped into someone else's life. And standing in front of her is a man she thought she knew better than anyone. A man who is beginning to feel like a stranger. The phone call lasts only a few minutes, but its consequences will last forever. Because from this point forward, nothing will ever be the same again. When trust is broken, most people hope for a denial, a mistake, an explanation, anything that can restore the world to the way it was before. Belle desperately wants that. She wants James to tell her the voicemail was wrong. She wants him to laugh at the accusation. She wants proof that her marriage is still real. Instead, James admits the truth. Yes, there has been another woman. Yes, the affair happened. And just like that, the nightmare becomes reality. For Belle, the confession feels almost unreal. The words are simple, but their impact is enormous. More than 2 decades of marriage suddenly look different. Every memory, every promise, every moment they shared. Now Belle begins asking questions. Who is she? How long has this been happening? Why did it happen? What does this mean for their family? But James's answers only create more confusion. He downplays the affair. He tries to make it sound insignificant, something temporary, something that doesn't really matter. Yet if it doesn't matter, why risk a marriage? Why risk a family? Why risk everything? Belle struggles to understand. The more she listens, the less she recognizes the man sitting in front of her. This isn't the husband she has known for decades. His behavior feels different. His attitude feels different. Even the way he speaks feels unfamiliar. For the first time, Belle begins to see a fright. Maybe she never knew him as well as she believed. Maybe the person she trusted most in the world has been hiding parts of himself all along. As the conversation continues, another painful reality becomes clear. The affair isn't just hurting Belle. It threatens everyone. Their children, their family, their future. Everything is suddenly hanging by a thread. And while Belle is desperately trying to save what remains, James seems strangely calm, almost detached, as if he has already accepted the destruction that is coming. The confession answers one question, but it creates 100 more. And the worst part is this: Belle still believes the affair is the crisis. She still thinks this is the biggest problem. She has no idea that something even more devastating is about to happen. Because soon, James won't just admit to the affair. He'll admit something far worse. He doesn't want to save the marriage. He wants to leave it behind forever.